Is this thing on? Welcome back to Big Mouth and fancy seeing you here in June. A very welcome, my friends, and especially my enemies. Come in, sit down, no touching. I don't do the touching. Are you feeling charitable? Then smash the subscribe button and the like button. And please do follow me on Twitter at Movies TV Mad. And welcome to Friday's edition of the DCEU Daily. Have you noticed something? I've moved my clothes away from that headboard. It offends Davy Pienaar, and I wouldn't want to offend an elite. Anyway, welcome to today's DCEU Daily, and Mr. Mark Hughes has broken the Snyderverse Twitter sphere with an article. I'm going to read it, and then I'm going to give you my opinion of Mark Hughes and his article. Now, I want to be clear about this. The elite members of the Snyderverse fandom, including Mr. Davy Pienaar, have decided that this should happen, and anyone who goes against this narrative should be destroyed. HBO Max should build a new animated DCEU Snyderverse by Mark Hughes, contributor. Warner Brothers continues to explore many options for adapting their DC Comics properties to screens, both big and small. The launch of HBO Max has expanded the realm of what's possible and opened up additional tempting options. As the announcement of Zack Snyder's Justice League makes clear, it also highlights the fact one of the best, most obvious and financially attractive options is for HBO Max to build a new animated DCEU miniseries and streaming shows based within the DC cinematic world built around Zack Snyder's vision, aka the Snyderverse. Let's get some things out of the way first. I'm talking about animation, not live action, because the realm of live action is obviously costs a lot more to produce, and there's much more at stake, and thus far more restrictions and possible obstacles in creating multiple live action sets of the same characters operating in completely different worlds and settings. There are already film incarnations, television incarnations, and streaming incarnations of shared multi-character DC worlds. HBO Max is home to most of the iterations already, and adding yet another line of live-action shared world versions of the same characters could get messy and expensive. Toy Story, Monsters Inc., The Incredibles. Do you think they were cheap to make? Do you think they're any cheaper to make than live action? No. But as usual, movie pundits know nothing about the industry they speak about. Mind you, I'm not at all opposed to live-action versions, and I'd be quite happy as a fan since I love the films. I'm simply speaking about what seems more likely, or at least more possible at this particular point in time. Moreover, animated spin-offs and sequels don't preclude live-action content within the same continuity. No, they don't, and that's fine. If the animation is successful enough, then it might be added evidence of the viability of live action. One other thing to get out of the way, I keep seeing the rumours and hearing the wishful thinking, but everything I see and hear continues to prove Ben Affleck is not planning to return to the role of Batman for any new streaming shows or films, that he isn't expressing desire to do so, and that there have been no discussions about trying to develop such a project. Batman remains a major cinematic franchise and is generally reserved for heading up live-action shows on the small screen. Let's be absolutely clear. I have never said personally that I've heard anything about Ben Affleck coming back, right? But here's the point. We know months ago he said he's done with it. And that's totally fine. That's his decision. But you know what fans are doing and saying? Because Zack Snyder's Justice League was announced, they've got new hopes and dreams of the possibility of Ben returning. Maybe he won't. He probably won't. But Mark, don't trample on our dreams before it's a reality. Let us have a little fantasy. Let us have a little dream. You want to talk about animated Snyderverse projects? Then fine. There was no need to talk about something you know no more about than we do. We know he's distanced himself. We know he got upset about what happened in Justice League. But you know nothing more than we do. And this was pointless to put in there because you don't have any new information. Otherwise, where is it, Mark? If there are no plans or chances any time in the near future to develop live-action content apart from the existing feature film projects, including Wonder Woman 84, Aquaman 2 and others that continue the franchise spin-offs from Snyder's DC films, then I believe the best option to pursue a Snyderverse is through animated miniseries. Ongoing weekly series are of course also possible, but the demands of weekly or regular seasonal production would result in a different types of content. A regular series must meet the demands of weekly or binge equivalent, half-hour storytelling instead of centering around one adventure told from start to finish. The latter is how I think the Snyderverse works best for many reasons, including its deconstructionist approach and its great similarity in storytelling structure to classic mythology. Storytelling where rather than weekly adventurism, the heroes lives were detailed in occasional epic quests. While it's true a mini-series with hour-long episodes would cost more than a simple regular half-hour series, even at a relatively high budget of $1.52 million per episode, 4-episode miniseries would still cost less than $10 million. That's a reasonable price for this type of content. Warner could release them on VOD first and then exclusively on HBO Max, giving HBO Max subscribers a chance to purchase the miniseries at discount prices. I suspect the steady diet of this quality of animated miniseries will further normalise animation for mainstream adult audiences who typically have a preference for live action. Actually, mate, I love cartoons and I love animation, but I also love live action. You don't know what you're talking about. You don't know what the consumer likes or doesn't like. Do you know what? Adults love animation. Netflix do great adult animation and I love it. Jesus Christ, I've been watching The Simpsons and Family Guy for years. For live action productions of their adult action drama entertainment. Adult meaning literally 18 plus. Audience demographic, especially post-college adults, not adult, is an R-rated per se. Maybe this is a pipe dream, but I would love to see a future in which mainstream American audiences consume a steady diet of animated content in every genre. Hang on, you're just talking about American audiences. You do understand that HBO Max is going to go global. You do understand that more important than anything to Warner Brothers and Warner Media, HBO Max and AT&T is the global audience. Always authoritarian, always talking about America like it's the most important. It's actually very interesting. Before this guy blocked me just after Justice League 2017 came out, right? He was talking about the American consumer being the most important one because of the size of the country. Measure that against the entire world, my friend. What would you rather do? Just count what's going on in America or have a consumer base for every country around the world? His argument was that the box office in America is more important than anywhere else in the world. I disagreed, and I got a block for my disagreement. At every level, so any TV streaming series or feature film is considered for not just live action, but also animated production. Imagine animated sitcoms, animated hour-long family dramas in prime time. Family Guy, The Simpsons, Dreamer King of the Hill. Anyway, realistic animated action blockbusters specifically for grown-up viewers and also on for American audiences. Yet there is already loads of fabulous animated content disproving the unfortunate misperception among mainstream American viewers that serious animated storytelling for adult audience is rare. It's not rare. It is not rare, or something only found in international cinema and television. But the fact is, the unfortunate misperception does exist and it deserves to be overcome. No. Everybody loves animation, especially adult audiences. You are wrong. With high-quality animation and featuring writing and directing by great talent such as, for example, Lucien Thomas, Lexi Alexander, Jay Oliver, Ree Mastomo, and the Wachowskis, and of course, Zack Snyder himself, the miniseries could be equivalent to director's cuts of longer than usual theatrical films, edited into multiple chapters. Think of the Hateful Eight's glorious and superior miniseries edit on Netflix. I'm a bit confused. Are you saying instead of getting director's cuts, they should be animated? I'm all for animated original adventures, Mark, but if I'm going to see a director's cut, I want to see the actors, the live action. Again, you make no sense, mate. This is clearly a large, vocal, enthusiastic fan base for this particular potential set of content. The release of Snyder Cut movement proved this already, and it's precisely why we will be seeing Zack Snyder's Justice League on HBO Max. It also can't hurt having additional high-end content for major branded IP on the streaming service, and this is the content that can be created relatively faster and more safely than live action content in the current COVID-19 pandemic climate, even though everyone is going back to film live action movies and TV shows from September. And I'll be blunt, everyone can hope and wish and assume things are getting back to normal, you see, this is where he comes in, for live action production soon, but we are still a long way away from resuming work as usual. Let me be absolutely clear, Mark. They've already got a system and a plan to work within a structure to be able to film during COVID-19. They've already said that if they're shooting pictures and long-term features and TV shows, they can keep actors and people who work on the sets in areas. So they're all tested, they don't have the pandemic, they all stay in a sterilised hotel together while the shooting structure is happening. That means they won't be in any danger of catching the virus, and it can be done. So again, you are wrong, Mark. And another pandemic is likely inevitable, you hope, in the next several years. And he's predicting a pandemic in the next several years. My God! My God! And the elitists in the Snyder fandom are defending this man. Another pandemic is likely inevitable in the next several years. Anyway, so in the long run, having a supply of animated streaming content, films, miniseries and regular series is just smart planning for the future. I'd also suggest asking Zack Snyder to oversee this content line. Zack, have I got my phone? Where's my phone? I don't have my phone on me. Zack, stop doing Zack Snyder's Justice League. Start overseeing animated content because Mark Hughes says so. Oversee the content line, fulfilling the storytelling he originally had in mind, as well as any additional interesting projects that present themselves within the Snyderverse. HBO Max is in a good position to continue capitalising on the positive fan sentiment they've earned from the release of Zack Snyder's Justice League in a multitude of ways to expand their content library of initiative DC animated films and series, and to help expand the popularity of series high and end animated content as a mainstay of adult streaming viewing. We'll see if the continued development of DC content across Warner's many platforms winds up including expansion of the Snyderverse on HBO Max, as continues to be rumoured, but I certainly hope the studio considers it. And meanwhile, we have plenty to look forward to with Zack Snyder's Justice League, Green Lantern Corps, which is live action, Green Lantern Corps, Strange Adventures, DC Superhero High, Aquaman King of Atlantis, Gotham PD, Justice League Dark, already announced for HBO Max with more to come. Yes, Gotham PD, live action, isn't it? How are they going to make that then, Mark? Contradiction time. Announced for HBO Max with more to come. Additionally, DC Fandom next month will give us sneak peeks at some of this, including the Snyder Cut itself, as well as some upcoming DC cinematic releases, including Wonder Woman 84, The Suicide Squad, and The Batman. I'll be covering that event, by the way, so be sure to check back here soon for that. No, I won't. I will frankly be shocked if we don't see development of additional DCEU content for HBO Max set squarely within the Snyderverse in the coming months and years. Part of that, I hope, will be animated miniseries, especially for any projects that might otherwise be shelved due to budgetary considerations. Animated features and TV shows are as expensive as live action, but you don't know the industry, so you don't get it. Budgetary considerations are due to continued coronavirus shutdowns. There's a lot of potential and I look forward to seeing it play out. Note, I am friends with Jay Oliver and have worked with him on projects in the past. My suggestion here for him to work on new DC animated miniseries is based on his extensive past work with DC and Marvel on acclaimed animated series and films, and this history of working with Zack Snyder, past and present, on many projects. My suggestion of Mr. Oliver is the article is entirely based on that work and history with Marvel and DC films and with Zack Snyder. And that's what he had to say. Right. Let's delve into this. I forgot he was friends with Jay Oliver. We all stand Zack Snyder and Jay Oliver. We all love them. And no one is saying that we wouldn't like to see animated Snyderverse miniseries and features on HBO Max. That's great. That would be awesome. They're probably already planning on doing it. So when it happens, I don't want to hear like I hear about Grace Randolph. You see, she's right. You see, you need to apologise, sir. You see what she's done right? No. This is a smart company now, AT&T and Warner Media. They will have lots of plans and they would have spoken to Zack about the future plans for other Snyderverse projects within HBO Max, and there will be live action. We also know that Zack Snyder's Justice League is coming, but that's one of the big discussions. If we're going to get a Zack Snyder's Justice League season 2, 3, 4, and whatever, right? He's going to be too busy, really, to be overseeing animated projects, but that doesn't matter. He can set out a template. I get that. There is nothing wrong with what he's saying. What he's saying is it's cheaper to make live action content, animated content than live action. He is simply wrong. It's easier to do it if there's a lockdown and there's a pandemic. You can sit at home on your computer and write it and animate it and CGI it. I agree with that, right? And that's fun, and I'd love it. Take my money now. It's the authoritarian way he comes in about Batfleck's future, right? Nobody knows what's going to happen, Mark. Nobody. And if you know this industry at all, you don't write anything off. It's probably true. Batfleck won't return. It's probably right. But if there is a Justice League 2 and 3, a TV series, he will have to come back. Won't he now? Because guess what? He's contracted for Justice League sequels. That is undeniable. So again, he's a little bit wrong there, isn't he? Now, as I say, I don't know. I don't know what the future holds for Ben Affleck and Batman, if anything. But as I say, everybody said Zack Snyder's Justice League didn't exist and wouldn't happen. So now all of a sudden we're saying that Ben Affleck will never return as Batfleck? Come on. For me, that's very short-sighted. And this is why I don't particularly like this guy, because he is short-sighted and he really doesn't understand the industry he's writing about. So, it's okay to have heated debate. It's okay to disagree with each other. But when you make it personal, Davey Pienaar, that's a very, very difficult thing to live with for a lot of people. Now, we know that the Snyderverse fandom can be very, very toxic to each other. And we've seen it. And I've experienced it aimed towards me lately. And I'm going to make a little announcement at the end of the video about that. But I want to read out to you some of the stuff that Davey Pienaar said to me. And it was very, very bad. Now, we were disagreeing about this very article that I just read out to you about Mark Hughes. Hey, at least you're proud of your shitty videos, lol. And you're like 50, right? Just giving you pointers that no one wants to see the background. Do a little weightlifting too. It'll help fill out those tanks. No more quote tweeting for you after you do it one last time. Charming. That was very nice, wasn't it? This is all because I disagreed with him about Mark Hughes and his article. What a very, very nice guy he is, right? Oof. Low, quote tweeting to impress whom? Desperate. And yeah, decided to look at one of your videos. Shoebox apartment with laundry on the furniture and a tank top on. You really don't want people to watch your videos, huh? Lovely. Right, no, we'll respond to this. We'll respond to this, Davey. Unlike you, I'm not after manipulating the innocent. I don't need people to join the Big Mouth fan club or be a member of my channel. Yes, Davey. My YouTube channel is shit. Thank you for reminding me, yes. And if I was really that ambitious about people watching my videos, I would be advertising them. I wouldn't be just sharing the link once a day. I would be editing. I would have an HD camera. I would have a special mic, wouldn't I? But I don't care. This channel, Davey, unlike you, because you want to make money, unlike you, I don't need to make money. I'm a god. And he's already insulted my appearance, which is interesting. Now, if I wanted to, I could go down. I mean, really, if we had an argument about his appearance and my appearance, let's be honest about it. Who's going to win? Let's be honest, Davey. You're talking about my appearance and what I look like and my age. Well, I may be 48 years old, lad. But if we were both standing in a nightclub, I don't think you would do very well with the girls. Do you? No. There you go, you see. It's not very nice, is it? Not very nice at all. But at the end of the day, I do think it's funny when Davey looks like the way he does, insulting me and insulting my appearance. But there you go. I could have replied to him about my appearance. I could have kept on going and going and going. But but I took the higher ground because I am superior to this man. You see, I live in the real world, Davey. I don't live on a computer screen. I don't need to have Zack Snyder's ear. I don't need to be best friends with John Aaron Garza or Chris Wong Svensson, even though Chris is a great guy and he does great videos, and I wouldn't be doing this if it wasn't for him. At the end of the day, your hatred and your toxicity towards me because I disagreed with you over an article says everything about you and very little about me. But it goes on. It goes on and it goes on and it goes on. And it all started because of, this is the last one I'll read because this is the funniest. Lol, we'll make another creepy video about it then. It's not very nice, is it? So basically, Davey Pienaar isn't a very nice person. So I want to explain to you what happened after these tweets. Every morning before I wake up, I update my social media platforms. I'm supposed to take one of my psych meds because I suffer with mental illness. And then I get my disabled dad up. I put him on in the bathroom, as you Americans would say, the toilet. Basically, I care for my disabled father. Before I did this morning, after this exchange, there was a bottle of vodka next to me in my psych meds. Because you're right, Davey. I am useless. I am worthless. I am old. And I am ugly. You are right. Absolutely. And I've got a shitty YouTube channel. And that exchange made me think about my life. And it made me look at that bottle of vodka and that bottle of psych meds. And for one moment, I wanted to take them because of what you said to me. Imagine if I did, Davey. All over an article and a journalist. Imagine if I took my own life because of what you said to me. Wow. Thank you, Davey. Thank you for showing me that I'm useless and worthless and got a crap YouTube channel. Even though I know my YouTube channel is nothing special. It's obvious my YouTube channel is nothing special. I don't need anyone to tell me. But never mind, Davey. You came that close to destroying me and ending me. Thank you very, very much. What a lovely person you are. But I don't hate you, Davey. I'm not going to block you. I'm not going to mute you. I don't care. At the end of the day, I want to thank you because even though I came that close to ending my life because of your dark, toxic words, you helped me. You helped me rise up and realize I do like my life. I do like me. And I do like the people in my life. And I'm proud that I look after my disabled dad. I'm proud of the 50 people who come in and watch my videos. I'm proud that people who watch me can contact me when they're having a low day, when they're thinking about ending their life, when they're feeling depressed, and I can help them. Now, they may not become members of my channel. They may not give me money through Super Chat, but we help each other. We're here for each other. I like to give something back. Now, it's true, Davey. It takes two to tangle in an argument. It does. And maybe I should have just made my point and moved on. I should have done. I shouldn't have gone on and on and on. I was triggered by Mark Hughes. It's true. So I can apologise for that, you see, because I'm a man. I can apologise and say, do you know what, Davey? Maybe I triggered you a bit. Maybe you couldn't control yourself. I mean, normally you'd probably DM the kind of stuff that you said to me. So now all my followers and your followers can see who you really are. Even if they like your stuff, they don't really like the bullies and people who literally push a man that way, that far away from ending his own life, right? We're movie fans. They're movies. I love Zack Snyder, but I don't kiss an icon of him before I leave the house in the morning. I love Man of Steel and Batman vs Superman, and I fought like everyone else for Zack Snyder's Justice League. And I don't want any credit. I don't care about credit. Nobody does. But we are sick and tired of being attacked every time we twist away from yours and the other's narrative, right? But this is what I'm going to do now. I'm going to make an announcement. I will keep on following the people from this fandom who I like and who are respectful and are mature enough to understand an opposite opinion. That's great. But I am going to avoid the others. And when I have something to say that I don't like that somebody else has said, I'm going to subtweet. I'm going to say my own thing. I'm not going to quote tweet anymore. I'm not going to come at people anymore because obviously this fandom can't take opposing opinions. I've seen people in this fandom destroy people simply because they said they loved Christopher Reeve and Christopher Reeve is their favourite Sigman. I've seen people be destroyed and I'm sick of it, right? I'm sick of it, right? It's done. And I don't want any part of this toxicity. I don't want to feel like I felt like this morning. It was horrible. Davy Pienaar was a lad that I've been watching on YouTube for a very long time. And I always used to think to myself, great guy, hasn't he done well for himself? I'm so happy for him. That's why I followed him on my Twitter. That's why I quote tweet him sometimes, right? The quote tweeting isn't for me to mock you in front of the rest of the people. I just quote tweet. It's a habit I have. It's just something I do. But never mind, Davey. Thank you for telling me how worthless I am. Thank you for bringing me that close to ending my own life. Thank you, Davey. You did me a great favour to see what world we live in now and the hateful world and the toxic world we live in. I don't want to live like that. I don't want to be part of a fandom that attacks each other like that. I'm done with it. I'll support Zack Snyder's Justice League and anything else he does. And if he does an animated features on his universe, I will support that, absolutely. But I'm done with the rest of it. I'm done with, as I say, I will keep following him. I'll even keep on watching his videos, right, and enjoy them. Because the guy's good. The guy does a good job on what he does. And that's great. But at the end of the day, Davey, you basically took a guy and tore him to shreds just because he didn't agree with you. That's tragic, and that's a shame. I talk to actors and writers and directors all the time, and I disagree with them. Some of them we fall out, but a lot of them we just carry on, we follow each other, and it's cool. But it's always the little people who get a little bit of cred, who get a big ego, and as I said yesterday, they step out of this fandom, of this Snyderverse. No one's ever going to hear of them. That's why I talked about Costner and Russell Crowe. No matter where they go, everybody knows them. If this guy, Davy Pienaar, steps out of this fandom in this universe, no one's ever going to hear of him. But I do think it's ironic that he went for my appearance, considering, look at me and look at you. I mean, have you actually ever looked in a mirror? See what happens. I'm giving you an example of what happens. Toxicity meets toxicity. This is what happens in life. And it's sad. But my point is, look at me and look at you. Women love me. Women adore me. Women want to be with me. My friend, they want us to be lovers. It's great. Do you have the same reaction from women, my friend? I sincerely doubt so. But it doesn't matter, David. You carry on. You carry on doing what you're doing. Thank you. Thank you for pushing me that close to death. Thank you, my friend. You're a lovely man. Thank you very much. I hope you get 2 billion subscribers. I hope you do really well, because as long as you're successful, you can keep on abusing people who don't agree with you. How sad. Comment down below. Like, share and subscribe, and I'll be back tomorrow with even more DCEU Daily. See you again soon.